At 104 years old, Dr. Haruki Nakamura still walked to his clinic every morning, his spine straight as bamboo and his mind sharp as ever. In Kyoto, where centuries of tradition and modernity coexisted like the sun and moon, Dr. Nakamura had become a local legend, not only for his unmatched medical knowledge, but for the quiet, unshakable energy that pulsed through him like the steady beat of a taiko drum. What was his secret? Reporters asked. Young doctors followed him like apprentices of old. But Dr. Nakamura, as always, answered only with a smile, until one autumn morning when he agreed to share the truth. He sat on the engawa of his wooden home, sipping green tea as leaves fell gently from the maple trees. It is not just what we avoid that keeps us healthy, he began, voice calm and measured, but what we choose to welcome into our bodies each day. His secret wasn't a pill. It wasn't a serum sold in glossy packages or a fitness trend from the West. It was food, simple, ancient, and alive with wisdom. One, natto, the sticky miracle. Each morning, Dr. Nakamura began his day with a bowl of natto, fermented soybeans with a pungent smell and sticky texture that many foreigners found unbearable. But to him, it was gold. Natto is life, he said. Rich in vitamin K2, it protected his bones and arteries, reducing calcification and promoting longevity. It also brimmed with probiotics, feeding the gut bacteria that modern science now recognizes as vital for overall health. He recalled his childhood in a village outside Osaka. His grandmother, bent but lively at 98, would serve natto over warm rice, topped with chopped scallions and a dab of mustard. Eat, she'd say, so you can chase the wind. 2. Miso soup, the warm protector. For lunch, and sometimes again for dinner, he drank miso soup. Not from a packet, but homemade, from fermented soybean paste, dashi broth, seaweed, tofu, and seasonal vegetables. Miso, he explained, supported digestion and the immune system. It was packed with enzymes and beneficial bacteria formed during the fermentation process. But only when you do not boil it, he warned, or the good spirits die. To him, each sip was medicine, a connection to the soil, to time, to the invisible life that hummed in every corner of nature. 3. Green tea, the gentle elixir. Dr. Roy Nakamura consumed green tea as naturally as he breathed. He drank it between meals, after meals, and during long hours of study. But not just any tea. It had to be sencha, rich in antioxidants like EGCG, which scientists link to reduce cancer risk, improved heart health, and increased metabolism. Green tea keeps the fire lit, he said. Not roaring, but steady. He brewed it gently, never with boiling water, allowing its bitterness to bloom just enough. To him, green tea wasn't just a drink, it was a pause, a moment to recalibrate the soul. 4. Sweet potatoes, the Okinawan gem. The doctor often spoke about Okinawa, the southern Japanese island where many live past 100. Their traditional diet was centered around one humble root, the purple sweet potato. It is not sugary like cakes, but it satisfies, he explained. High in fiber, vitamin A, and anthocyanins, sweet potatoes were anti-inflammatory and energizing. He steamed them, sometimes roasted them, but never drowned them in butter or sugar. They nourish without demanding, he said, like a good friend. Or 5. Seaweed, the ocean's gift. No week passed without seaweed in Dr. Nakamura's diet. Wakame in soup, nori wrapped around rice, kombu boiled into broth. Seaweed was high in iodine, iron, and calcium, supporting the thyroid, bones, and blood. It was a plant that grew not from soil, but from the sea. The ocean sings to our cells through seaweed, he said. He remembered walking as a boy with his mother, collecting strands washed ashore, drying them under the sun, and eating them with vinegar and sesame. 6. Fish, but only a little. Unlike modern diets obsessed with protein, Dr. Nakamura ate fish sparingly. Once, maybe twice a week, always small, oily fish like mackerel or sardines, not giant tuna filled with mercury. These fish live short lives, he explained. They do not carry the burden of pollution like large predators do. Grilled, salted lightly, and served with grated daikon, fish gave him omega-3 fatty acids, which supported brain and heart health. 7. Pickled vegetables, crunches of wisdom. Every meal had some pickled vegetables, cucumber, radish, eggplant, fermented with salt, not vinegar. Tsukemono, he called them, are not garnish. They are guardians of the gut. Through fermentation, these vegetables gained lactic acid bacteria, enhancing digestion and immunity. They also provided fiber and color, turning meals into poetry. Dr. Nakamura's eyes twinkled as he remembered the large ceramic crocks his mother buried in the backyard, where pickles rested for weeks in quiet transformation. 8. Rice, the steady foundation. Not white rice, not polished to gleam like marble. He preferred genmei, brown rice full of fiber, magnesium, and B vitamins. It took longer to chew, longer to digest, and kept him full for hours. Genmai asks you to slow down, he said, to eat with your whole being. It was never doused in sauce, never rushed. A bowl of genmai with miso soup and pickles was his ideal lunch, a meal his ancestors would recognize. 9. Fruits, seasonal and humble. Dr. Nakamura did not snack on cookies or chips. When he wanted something sweet, he turned to fruit. A slice of persimmon in autumn, a few strawberries in spring, a piece of melon in summer. The fruit that grows when it is meant to, this is the true dessert, he said. Our bodies know the seasons even if our clocks do not. He never juiced them, never added sugar. He let the sweetness speak for itself. 10. Moderation, the invisible ingredient. Perhaps more important than any one food was how he approached eating itself. Slowly, mindfully, in small portions. Hara hachibu, he said, an Okinawan practice of eating until you're 80% full. He never ate standing, never while watching television. Meals were sacred, an invitation to connect with the body, the world, and time itself. At the end of his interview, as the wind swept another red leaf into his lap, Dr. Nakamura smiled softly. Modern people think longevity is a fight, he said, but it is more like a dance. You listen to your body, you move gently, you nourish, not conquer. He rose, his movements graceful, and walked back into his wooden home, where the scent of simmering miso and steamed rice hung in the air like incense in a temple. In a world chasing shortcuts, his message was clear. Longevity wasn't hidden in exotic supplements or extreme routines. It was in the bowl before you, in the cup in your hands, in the quiet return to what your ancestors always knew. Eat simply, eat wisely, and live with calm.